These social media tools don't stay the same. They're changing all the time.
The thing that continues to inspire me is how much the social networks actually need us.
So we're trying to figure out how to create that experience like people are in the same room with us.
When it comes to business, I want to be in a learning mindset all the time.
And this is the real challenge, to make education entertaining.
It's important to learn about and take advantage of new features on social media platforms, just like Instagram's Reels, which is basically a copy of TikTok. If you're a business and you thought being on TikTok didn't fit your brand, now's definitely a time to reevaluate that and take a look at Instagram Reels.
So I think one of the most incredible ways that the playing field gets leveled is that the bigger companies are less likely to adopt some of the new features.
Instagram has a track record of making great new features that are adopted by a wide audience.
Things like carousel posts.
Of course, IGTV didn't do quite as well as Instagram Stories did, but Instagram Reels, it's a new chance for Instagram to come out with a new feature that may be a hit, so we'll have to see.
As smaller creators, we have a chance to actually use some of the new features and as a result, get more visibility. The conversation that I had with Chris in my podcast interview.
We're trying to teach people the soft skills, the things that tend to get neglected because they don't fit neat into a category and they're very difficult to teach.
This is my first time exploring the San Diego waterfront park, which is kind of cool. I'm gonna go over how I would make an Instagram Reel. Instagram Reels are 15 seconds long. They have to have good storytelling, right? I think it's important to have a beginning, middle, and end to the story, even if it's just 15 seconds. Even though it's short form, it still needs a structure, it still needs a story format. So try that out. Try making a video with that kind of structure and then see how that works.
When it comes to things like communication, empathy, listening skills, even things like sales or marketing, it becomes a lot more difficult because there are no binary kind of right or wrong answers. And this is the thing we're trying to help for now creative people to understand these skills and to implement them in their practice because they'll be more successful at sharing their vision with the world.
What Chris understands and tries to teach in his content is that when we use social media, we have to respect the channel that we're on. We have to create and present content in formats that match what the social network is about, whether it's about the proportion of the video or the length of the video or the type of new technical feature that we're using.
There's a theme that ties all of this together, and that's connecting with people digitally.
So we're trying to figure out how to create that experience like people are in the same room with us. How can you raise your hand and talk to me? And how can I help you have a conversation with other people in the room? Because we know some learning comes from the teacher, a lot of learning comes from doing, but quite a bit of learning comes from learning from other students.
When you use these visual communication tools, it's almost like you're in the same room with someone, especially nowadays when we're all forced to be separate and apart. You know, these tools are more important than ever to bring us closer together, even if it's just digitally.
People want to turn off their brains. And this is the real challenge, to make education entertaining, to make it stimulating, to make you want to lean in. So we need personalities, we need some edge. It just can't be like the teacher in Ferris Bueller's, like anyone.
Of the anyone? The Great Depression.
But that's kind of like how we feel. That's a stereotype, right? Of how teachers, they talk at you, not to you. And that's a big problem.
The show must go on. We must keep trying things and testing things.
The show must go on. I think the most important thing for us to do right now is to get over this idea of fear and working out of fear. Because after all, what is fear? Fear is false evidence appearing real. But what we need to do is to not necessarily succumb to that fight, flight, freeze response that disallows us from continuing on in the productive things that we're doing. Because if we do that, that's what causes recessions and that's what causes failures.
That is the spirit of business. Have an open mind. If we get locked down and we're based out of fear, if we're afraid to try new things, we're afraid of Instagram Reels and we're afraid of TikTok just because we don't understand it. I don't think that's going to help us in the long term. I think it's a better mindset just to try things and see what works, test things out. So that's what we're all about here at Dubb. Dubb.com is the sponsor of this video. Dubb is an actionable video platform that allows you to send video messages wherever you get your work done. So maybe it's Gmail, maybe it's LinkedIn, but Dubb allows you to easily send a video and then make it actionable, which means you can add call to actions on the Dubb action video page. It's a really powerful platform. Tens of thousands of businesses use Dubb for their business communication. Dubb is all about ease of use and simplicity, but it also has a whole bunch of really powerful features, so I encourage you to go to dubb.com to learn about all the interesting features on the platform. If you're not subscribed already, consider subscribing to our channel. It shows that you liked this video and that you want to see more. So thank you so much. See you in the comments section below. I'll catch you next time. Farewell. Bye-bye. Here's a new clip. This is an, oh my gosh, cute dog. Cute dog alert. There's, oh my gosh, multiple cute dogs. Look at them, they're so cute. Oh, they're running. Oh, look at that. That is so sweet.